Good evening. My name is Felicia Orth. I'm hearing officer for EIB 21-27. It's a rulemaking before the Environmental Improvement Board relating to ozone precursor, and we have reached the final public comment session, the 5 o'clock session on the 10th day of hearing. Um, if you have a comment to offer, I do have some folks who reached out to the board administrator. I'll call on you first. If you did not reach out to the board administrator, I'm still happy to accept your comment. Please reach out through the chat, which is enabled for everyone. And in the event you would prefer it, please set out your comment in writing. And by the end of the day, let's say the end of October 1st, and email that to Pam Jones, the board administrator. Public comment is taken under oath as required by the board rulemaking rules, is taken by audio, not video, and is limited to 5 minutes. So I'll call on you in this order. Antoinette Cedillo Lopez, Samantha Cow, Liliana Castillo, Oscar Simpson, and Akaisha Begay. So let's start with you, Senator Lopez. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can. If you would please spell your name for the transcript.
Yes, it's Antoinette Cedillo Lopez. That's AntoinetteS as in Sam, Edillo, Lopez, Lopez.
Thank
And
you.
no hyphen.
Okay, thank you. And if you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I will tell the truth.
All right, I'll start your 5 minutes now.
Thank you, members of the board. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. My name is Antoinette Cedillo Lopez. I'm a senator in District 16 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Addressing the climate crisis and environmental protections in New Mexico is my highest legislative priority, and it is one reason that I am in public service as a legislature. I want to preserve the beauty and the healthfulness of the land we all live in and share together. First, I want to thank the department, the environmental department, for joining proximity rules and frequent inspections of homes and schools, nearby homes and schools. I think that is very important, and I'm glad that they have joined. That is very important for the board to consider and to adopt. In addition, I wanted to say that climate change, methane, and the associated toxins, including VOCs, volatile organic compounds, contribute not only to ozone pollution, which harms the respiratory system and triggers asthma attacks and makes emphysema worse, it also contributes to climate change. And we are seeing the climate crisis unfold before us. The other rule that needs strengthening is the completion of wells. They must be regulated to ensure that emissions are minimized during the completions of wells process. Pneumatics must be inspected frequently. Finally, polluters need to be accountable for the harm they cause to our communities, especially to communities of color. It is the state's responsibility to protect all of our communities, and these state advances that are adopted by this board today, or whenever they're adopted, need to be protected by the passage of a constitutional amendment which will preserve the advances so that they cannot be summarily undone. This requires a constitutional amendment that will give us all citizens the right to clean air, land, and water, and ensure that they are a constitutionally protected right of the people within our state. I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. I urge you to make sure that we have the best ozone rules in the country. And I urge you to protect the environmental and to protect our state. It is a delicate but environmentally fragile and beautiful state. And it is your responsibility to ensure everything that we can do to make sure that it stays that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator. Let me go to Samantha Cowell. Oh, let's see. Ms. Cowell, I've unmuted you. Can you hear me? Hello, Ms. Cowell. Okay, I will go back to Ms. Cowell. See, now I'm looking for Liliana Castillo. Okay, I don't see Ms. Castillo. Next is Oscar Simpson. Mr. Simpson,
All right,
can you
this is
hear
the
me?
test. Can you hear? This is Oscar Simpson. Can you hear me, Felicia?
I can. Hello. Would you spell your name for the transcript, please?
My spelling of my name is Oscar, OSCAR SIMPSON.
And if you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you. I'll start your 5 minutes now.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the Environmental Improvement Board for allowing the public to comment on these regulations. These are critical regulations that need to protect public health, but also to minimize the impacts of climate change. This is a critical step. Michelle Lujan Grisham has proposed superior regulations to control climate change by controlling methane emissions and VOCs from oil and gas development, and also to help improve the regulations to control emissions. In order to protect and improve these regulations, there's 3 areas that need to be improved other than what the Environment Department has proposed. To protect public health, they need to have frequent inspections and find and fix leaks, especially related to pneumatic controllers. They also need to expedite the replacement of pneumatic controllers to devices that don't require such use of pneumatics. I'm trying to read my notes here and they got lost here. Sorry. So I have, for the last 30 years, worked on NGO campaigns to improve and strengthen oil and gas development throughout the West, and especially in New Mexico. I'm a native New Mexican. I got 30 years dealing with oil and gas development and its impacts, especially on wildlife habitat, and with limited a little bit to air quality. And mainly because air quality couldn't be moved and it wouldn't be, the regulations wouldn't improve and to protect public health. So now is a perfect opportunity for the Environmental Improvement Board to strengthen the regulations to control the volatile organic hydrocarbons and methane to improve public health, and especially those that are very close to oil and gas development. The key aspect of this regulation is to, in my opinion, protect the health and environment of New Mexico's living closest to the oil and gas development, but also to minimize the impacts of climate change. So that's all I've got to say, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simpson. Let me go back to Ms. Cowell. Ms. Cowell, can you hear me? No, she may have stepped away. And go back to Liliana Castillo. Ms. Castillo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, just speak up a little bit, and would you spell your name for the transcript, please?
Absolutely. It's Liliana, Liliana, Castillo, Castillo.
Thank you. And if you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you. I'll start your 5 minutes now.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity to provide comments today. My name is Liliana Castillo, and I'm the Deputy Director of CAVU, Climate Advocates Voces Unidas, We are a nonprofit that focuses on sharing stories as a way to bring people together to find local solutions to the global climate problem. Communities in New Mexico have been calling for better regulations to mitigate methane and ozone pollution from the oil and gas industry for years. And Kavu has been helping to tell these stories, starting with our Unearthed video series. Science has shown us over and over again that reducing these emissions is one of the most impactful and cost-effective ways to better protect the health of our people and our air, climate, and cultural resources. Most recently, the United Nations International Panel on Climate Change identified methane pollution as one of the key drivers of the climate crisis. Their report made it clear that cutting human-caused methane emissions, largely from the oil and gas industry, is the fastest way to slow warming in the near term, and these rules are designed to do just that. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and Secretary Jim Kenney deserve credit for being responsive to the concerns of New Mexicans when it comes to their health and climate. We applaud the Environment Department for joining environmental community groups and some industry leaders in supporting strong leak inspection requirements near schools and homes. This is a vital recognition of the impacts to New Mexicans who live closest to oil and gas infrastructure. The New Mexicans concerned about climate, public health, and environmental health, combined with this administration's reliance on scientifically derived information, have led to this important moment, this hearing right here. We encourage the EIB and NMED to take this chance to strengthen the rules by adopting the proximity improvements and making 2 further improvements that will ensure the greatest possible reduction in harmful greenhouse gases. First is that the final rule must be strengthened to ensure New Mexico incorporates leading approaches to address pollution created during well completions. Right now, the rules do not cover this. And the final rule should also strengthen pollution cutting measures on pneumatic controllers, as they are the second largest source of oil and gas methane pollution in New Mexico. These 2 changes fall within the scope and the intention of these rules. This is our one chance to pass these rules. Let's do the best job possible. I encourage you to respond to the pleas of the New Mexicans who have spoken up and given public comment during the 2 weeks of this hearing. Make these improvements so we can meet the governor's goal of enacting nation-leading rules to reduce methane and ozone pollution from the oil and natural gas industries, thereby improving the lives and health of the citizens of our state. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, Ms. Castillo. Let me go to Beverly Singer. Ms. Singer, I've unmuted you. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, very nice. Thank you. If you would spell your name for the record, please.
Beverlysinger.
Thank you. And if you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I'll start your 5 minutes now.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Environmental Improvement Board, for this opportunity to provide comment. As a member of Santa Clara Pueblo with Dene Navajo ancestry and an heir to land near Chaco Canyon at Pueblo Pintado, my lifelong history of traveling out to my great-great-grandfather's and grandmother's land has been a tragic narrative, as the one pristine region near Farmington has been contaminated with oil and gas fields. I want to call attention to the investors of the gas and oil industry who are untouched by this erosion of the land, the soil, the water, the polluted air. They simply can go on with nonchalant ignorance of what's happening to my relatives out there and the residents in the Four Corners area. Not to mention that much of it probably drifts over us here at Santa Clara Pueblo in northern New Mexico. I'm asking that this opportunity that we have before us to put stricter restrictions on the emissions of these pollutants into the air and into our lives be carried out and conducted properly, and that the leaks are prevented, and that efforts are seriously taken to look at this issue here in our state. Saying it costs too much to reduce the methane gas release is no more expensive than what it costs for all the healthcare costs, for the infrastructure, for all the suffering that happens to the needs that are required by allowing this development to continue it's unleashed on us. And I see that the state of New Mexico at this time, it receives it's 23% of its income from this industry. And according to the Bureau of Geology and Mineral Resources, part of that is that it only creates 11,000 jobs. I mean, that is not enough, for the kinds of damage that is being done. So I would really like to see efforts placed by this administration and certainly all around the rest of this nation to look at other ways in which we can create energy. And I know that the state of Colorado has done a lot to control its release of gases, but I'm thinking more smaller in terms of business communities, people power, wind and solar farms, and ways in which innovation can be created. What we have seen as a result of COVID is the fact that we don't need huge office buildings anymore. People can work remotely. You don't need the heating and the cooling and the electricity of those buildings. I mean, New York City is just completely dark as a result of this, and people are working remotely. We've learned that students are going to school remotely. So I just offer these ideas up today because I'm really touched by what's happened to our state. We live in a poverty consciousness. We are the third at the bottom from poverty list, and that is unconscionable. We are an incredible people here with a lot of strength and ideas and willingness to be able to work together with this industry to redirect its emphasis upon the extraction and move towards some kind of inversion where we come together and really look at how we can improve not only the opportunities for better business practices, but also to look at the way in which we can educate our children and our youth. I think I've spoken on this before, but I am a former university professor in anthropology, and what I've learned in terms of looking at the impacts of this industry out there at Chaco Canyon is just devastating in terms of wanting to increase and enhance it. And I will not stand by and not say anything, because if I don't say anything, no one's going to say anything. And as a Native person from this state, as an Indigenous person, I just feel that it's enough that we have put up with over this period of time since the 20s, when this industry began in the state, that it's time for us to change our thinking about who we are and what we want for the future of our children. And in closing, I just want to say that, I've attended and participated in many United Nations meetings. I was sitting in Italy some years ago at a meeting of all these folks who with the World Bank who were working in the Niger Delta, and hearing about the statistics and just the impact that the oil and gas industry has done and just left those nations in disarray. We aren't those nations. We are very, very wise people here in New Mexico. And so I really feel as if though, it is time for us to take a look and really believe in ourselves, so that we aren't left in these dark spaces of not having opportunities to develop and improve the conditions for all the citizens of New Mexico. I love this place. It is our homeland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Singer. I see Akaisha Begay. Ms. Begay, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Would you spell your name, please?
It's Akaisha.
Begay, Begay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. If you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Oh, wait. What was that again?
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do, and I swear to tell the truth.
Thank you. I'll start your 5 minutes now.
Okay. I support sorrowful rules, and for the tough air quality, with oh my goodness. I support sorrow rules, tough air quality, and oh, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
Take your time.
Okay. Okay, I support the Sorrow rules tough air quality, while the NNMD has put forward a strong proposal. They key additional air cruelty to meet government Lujan Remhe goals of interacting the country toughest manhas and air pollution rules. To protect those living close to the department by require more frequencies and inspection to find and fix leaks. Thank you to the new NMED for adding your support for this proposal. I am from Shiprock, New Mexico.
Thank you very much, Ms. Begay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, did you have more?
Oh, and then also, I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico. I'm in high schooler. I'm in the 10th grade. So yeah, that's and like the air quality is like really bad where I live because of the power plants that are around. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Ms. Begay.
Okay.
I will return to Samantha Cow. Ms. Cow, I've unmuted you. Are you there? Okay, we're unable to connect with Ms. Cow. I have come to the end of those indicating a desire to offer public comment in this session, which is the final public comment session of this hearing. We finished the technical case just a little bit ago, and at this point, would only adjourn. Madam Chair, Vice Chair Trujillo Davis, Member Cates, Member Bitzer, Member Garcia, Member Honker. I see all of you on the platform now listening to public comment. If there's anything you would like me to do other than adjourn, please let me know right now.
I would just like to say thank you to all the people who gave public comment. I realize it is a very intimidating platform to get on and to give your thoughts, but I think that they carry a lot of weight, and it's important for the community to participate and give us their opinion on things. So I really appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody who worked on this. And I believe Member Sweeney kind of gave those sentiments earlier, and I echo them. So it was a long 2 weeks, but everybody did a fabulous job, especially our court reporters who really had to sort us all out. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Certainly echo those sentiments. Anything else before we adjourn?
Madam Hearing Officer, and I just want to make sure that we thank you and your service to the board and to this process. Just wholeheartedly appreciate that, along with what Vice Chair Trujillo Davis mentioned a few minutes ago, but and as well as all the court reporters, your quick fingers capturing all of this for our transcript. Thank you so much, and appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a restful weekend, and on to the next steps of this process.
Thank you so much. It's been a privilege. So we are adjourning this hearing on the day we had hoped to adjourn this hearing, day 10. There is a fairly lengthy post-hearing process. If you're curious about where the board is in that post-hearing process on the way to their decision, which will likely occur in the first quarter of 2022, please contact Pam Jones, the board administrator. Thank you all. We'll adjourn for now. Good night.